Okay. So we have discussed the executive powers of the president. We have discussed the military powers of the president. And now, today in this class, we'll be discussing the legislative powers. Now, if I say legislative powers, I mean to say we are talking about lawmaking process. Okay. The president has power to summon, means the first is summon and prorogue. Now, what does this mean? Prorogue. Summon means to call for a meeting and prorogue means to dismiss the houses of the parliament. Okay. Prorogue houses of the parliament. Yes. Now, what are the two houses of the parliament?
Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha.
Rajya Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And one more thing, which is there in the first point, he can
dissolve Lok Sabha.
Dissolve Lok Sabha. Okay. Then coming to the next. Coming to the next point, the president nominates 12 members. Yeah.
From the field of art architecture.
Exactly. If you remember, we read it in the previous chapter about Rajya Sabha.
Yes, sir. In the elections.
Nominates 12 members in Rajya Sabha. Now, these members are nominated from different fields. And 2 members are nominated in Lok Sabha, but this provision has been removed.
Anglo-Indian, from Anglo-Indian.
But this provision has been removed. If you are having an old book, please cancel out that point. Now there is no reservation for the Anglo-Indians. Okay. I had told you, I'm telling you here, the reservation for Anglo-Indians is removed. Okay. The reservation for Anglo-Indians is removed. So he nominates 12 members. Then it says that after election, the president addresses both the houses. Now, what after election? Addresses both the houses. Which houses I'm talking about?
Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha.
Both the
Rajya
houses.
Sabha and Lok Sabha.
Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Clear? What else?
Yes, sir.
Then he can also call for joint session. Okay, plus can call for joint session. Now, when
So
does
if
the joint session take place? When
So
does the
when
joint when
Sir, it takes
So
place when the bill is passed from one house but not from the other house. So for the
exactly,
voting, and that's the
Exactly.
joint session
this
takes
situation is known as deadlock. The situation is known as deadlock. This happens.
place.
This happens when the bill is not passed by one house, but the other house has already passed. When the decision is not been taken, for that situation, a joint session is called for both the houses, right? Okay. I think I've told you one major point in this. Who calls for the house joint session and who presides over the joint session? Yeah.
So the president calls for the joint session and he presides.
Who presides over the joint session?
So
Who
the
presides?
vice president or the prime minister?
No, the Speaker of Lok Sabha presides over the joint session. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then a bill becomes a law. When?
So when
When a bill
Then the
becomes a law.
president signs it and both the houses
Exactly.
accept it.
The first thing is it is passed by both the houses.
Both
And
the
second
houses.
thing, a bill will
It
become
is signed
law
by the
until and
It is
unless
signed by
it
the
gets
president.
the assent of the president. Okay? You can write
Yes.
a bill becomes law. A bill becomes law after
Passing from both the
it
houses. and
receives
by-
assent from president.
The president.
We're not talking about both the houses right now, Aditya. We are particularly talking about president. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Then coming to the next. Okay. You can just write down this point only. Will become laws after it receives the assent of the president. Clear? Then
Yes.
and then the last point says president has power to issue ordinance. President has the power to issue an ordinance. Now, what is an ordinance, children? See, ordinance is a temporary bill which is passed as a law by the president when the parliament is not in session. When the parliament is not in session means when both the houses are not sitting. When the members of both the houses are not sitting in the parliament, in that situation, if there is some urgency, a law can be passed in the form of ordinance by the president. But within 1 month and a half, that ordinance should be presented in the Lok Sabha and the Raj Sabha so that it can be passed. Have you understood this? Let me give you an example.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
In 2016, November 2016, we had demonetization. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Now, demonetization means that the notes of 1000 and the notes of 500 will not be used. They have been banned by the Indian government. So there was an ordinance passed by the president at that time. And what did the ordinance contain? It contains that from now onward, from the day when the demonetization was announced, from that day, the notes of 1000 and 500 will not be used anywhere in India. So this was an ordinance. And in March 2017, it was passed by the parliament. Have you understood this? Have you understood this? Have you understood the concept, beta? Right? So this is called as ordinance. When the parliament is not in session. Can you see that? He can pass an ordinance. He may also withdraw the ordinance at any time he likes. Now, suppose if in one and a half ordinance is not introduced in the parliament, what will happen? पहले तो ordinance pass हो गया. अब rule ये बोलता है.
Then the ordinance will be cancelled.
Exactly. The ordinance will become null and void. So when the ordinance is passed, after that, within 1 month and a half, the ordinance should be presented before the parliament and it should be passed. The same thing happened in the demonetization case. So this law of not that the rupees 500 and 1000 will not be used was passed in 2017. Is that clear, children? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the legislative powers of the president. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Then the next thing comes to us is financial powers. Now, financial powers of the president. Now, financial means related to money. It says that money bills can be introduced in the parliament only on the recommendation of the president. So it said money bill introduced consent of president. Okay. So money bill or any bill you can talk cannot be introduced without the consent of the president. Is that clear? So particularly because we are talking about financial powers, so we talk about money bill. Okay. Then president can authorize the withdrawal of money in advance from contingency fund of India to meet the unforeseen expenditure. So no, contingency fund is the fund from where India can take up the government can take up money, can withdraw money from that fund if they need it for any purpose, right? So authorized, president is authorized. So contingency fund. Now who is authorized? President can, okay, allow the withdrawal. Okay, can allow the withdrawal to meet the unforeseen expenditure. Unforeseen means which we haven't planned and it has suddenly come to us. If any expenditure, if any problem comes to us without any expectation, that is known as unforeseen expenditure. So it is kind of emergency fund, you can say. Then financial matter, the president appoints the finance commission. Appoints the finance commission. Okay, it appoints the finance commission, right? Is it clear?
Yes,
Now
sir.
what is the job of the finance commission? To make budget. Devna, Abdul, Suryansh, please switch on your video. Arjan Singh, switch on your video. Switch on your video. You are not supposed to switch off the videos. Arjan Singh, you better arrange your camera properly, or today I make a call to your parents. Please arrange your camera properly.
1 minute, sir. 1 minute.
Yusuf
The
Khan,
budget is
arrange
passed
your
by
camera properly. Yusuf Khan, arrange your camera properly.
Sir, is it fine now?
Radhika, Yusuf Khan should be marked absent, not wearing school uniform.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so it appoints the finance commission every 5 years. Okay. For 5 years, okay, to make recommendation on financial matters. Is that clear? So
Yes, sir.
these are the financial powers. Coming up to the judicial powers. Let me tell you, children, as far as the judicial or justice is concerned, president is the highest most authority. President has the power to grant pardon. Has power, or you can just write it.
The judicial power can also impeach
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
president.
No.
the vice
Just hold
president.
on. Don't mix up with the impeachment. Impeachment is a different thing. Right now, we are talking about the judicial powers of the president. President cannot impeach himself. Okay, Aditya, don't create the confusion. So president can grant pardon. Okay, can grant pardon, reduce punishment. Grant pardon, reduce punishment against the decision of which court?
Supreme Court.
Okay, because after Supreme Court only you can reach president. Is that clear? You cannot directly reach president. You have to follow the procedure. The president, then the president is not answerable to any court of law. Not answerable. It is not answerable to any court of law. Is that clear? For exercise of his powers and duties of the office. So no court can call him in the court for answering on certain issues. President cannot be called to court. Is that clear? Right?
Yes, sir.
Then let's move to the next one, that is diplomatic powers. Diplomatic. Now, diplomatic powers. Now, this is related to foreign policies and all. Now, president represents country in international conferences. President represents country in international conferences. Okay. Then it says that president appoints Indian representatives. So you can write simple, appoints ambassadors to different countries. Okay. Appoint ambassador to different countries. Then all international treaties. International treaties. International treaties and agreements. They all are signed in the name of
The president.
Is that clear? And the
Yes,
last
sir.
one
Yes,
is the
sir.
emergency powers. Emergency powers. Emergency power generally, declaration of the emergency. The president declare the emergency. Okay. When a security of the country, the president can declare emergency in the country under the following conditions. When the security of the country or any part is threatened by war or external aggression or armed rebellion and national. So when this emergency can be declared by the president. Okay. In what are the cases when the emergency? Threat to India security. Okay. Then India security by war or external aggression. Okay. Then what is the second case? Armed rebellion. Okay, this happens when there is a civil war. Then national or general emergency. Aditya Agarwal,
Yes, sir.
you're going to find out national and emergency and you will explain us in next period in brief.
The national emergency.
National and general emergency. What is this too? Okay. Is
But
this
the
clear?
president can also declare financial emergency also, no?
Yeah, he can declare the financial emergency also. You can mention here also. Very good. Very good. Financial emergency. Okay. Very good, Peter. Then the second thing, these are the situations where the president can declare emergencies. And the another thing is breakdown of constitutional machinery in any state. Breakdown of constitutional machinery in any state. What does this mean? When the state government gets dissolved. Okay. When the state government gets dissolved, like it happened in Delhi in the time of Arvind Kejriwal. It happens once in Maharashtra also. Now in that case, the emergency is declared. That is declared in the state. So
Sir, in that case, I think so that it's ruled by the
president,
president.
by the president, that the rule goes into the president, that is known as president's rule. Okay. If there is a threat to financial stability, we have already mentioned here financial emergency. Okay. We have already mentioned the financial emergency part. Is that clear, children? Is this part clear to all of you? We have done
Yes,
the
sir.
Yes, sir.
powers of the president. Now let us do some questions. Okay. Let us do some questions. Just a second. Let me add more slides because the slides are over. Okay. Let us do a few questions. Did we do any questions in the previous period?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir. Sir, we did
We wrote
according to
questions,
Union
but for the
Legislature.
previous chapter.
No, no. In Union Executive, you have not done any question.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, okay. Chalo, let us do few questions. Who is known as first citizen of India? Okay. What is the composition of Union Executive? Please write down fast. Okay,
Sir,
children.
please repeat the first question.
Who is known as the first citizen of India? It's written there, beta. It's written on the screen. Is the screen not clear to you? Then next question is, what is the composition of the Union Executive? Who is the head of the executive? Who is the head of the executive? Arav Singh, it is of no use switching on your camera when you are not present at all. And Abdul Wahab, you also.
So these questions you have to write as a tutor.
Yeah. Arav Singh, please arrange your camera properly.
Yes, sir.
See this number of students, 22. So bad. Radhika, are you filling that Google form?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Today I'll post the graph to ma'am. Then, what are the qualifications required for the election of president? Then, how is president elected? Then, what is the composition of electoral college? What is the composition of the electoral college? Okay. Then, what is the term of the office of president? Then, question number 8. How is president removed? Okay. And one more question similar to this. On what grounds the president can be removed. Now, on what grounds is different? On what grounds is different, and how president is removed is totally different. Is that clear?
Sir,
Okay.
for the sir, the answer of question 8 is the resolution to impeach may be moved in any of the houses. That sentence only, no?
No, you have to write the complete thing which is mentioned in the paragraph. The president can be removed from his office for the violation of the constitution by the process of impeachment. The resolution to impeach may be moved in any of these houses and has to be passed by 2/3 of the majority. The complete thing.
Okay, sir.
But in question number 9, the answer will be that he can be removed from his office for the violation of the constitution. So on what grounds for the violation of the constitution? The grounds are the violation of the constitution. If president violates the constitution, he will be removed by impeachment.
Okay, sir.
Then the next question to you, see what are the powers of the president? You can, that is quite understood. Let us write down short questions so that you can learn them quickly.
Sir,
This
can
will
you
be-
bring that page once more?
Please speed up, children. I think we are short of time. We are short of time. I think the class is over now.
Yes.
The class is over now. So because I have to report to school, so I end the class here. I'll be uploading this video in the
Yes,
evening
sir.
on the YouTube, so you can take it from there. Okay?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, on what?
Sir,